Hi guys, and welcome to the very first episode of the Vibrant Health Podcast. I'm Jessica Espinoza from DeliciousObsessions.com, and I'm here with my co-host Lydia Shatney of Divine Health from the Inside Out. We are so excited to have you here today with our very first episode of this new podcast. We have been learning a ton of information over the last couple of years, and we are really excited to share it with our readers and our audience, and also give you a safe place to come and learn about natural living, health, wellness, nutrition, and just how to live a vibrant life and have a healthier life.
That's right. We're really excited to be here sharing with our audiences today and in the future. And like Jessica said, we have a lot to share, not just information though. We've worked together for a couple years. We were just talking about this actually. It's been since about 2012 in August. And Jessica and I started working together. I was a new practitioner at the time, and she was ready to make some health shifts. And along the way, what we've discovered is a lot of things about health in regards to mindsets. So we want to shake up some mindsets too with this podcast. We don't want to just give you more information so that you get overwhelmed with information. And what I like to say to people is constipated with information, because there just seems to be a lot of it out there, you know. And I think people get overwhelmed and what we call constipated, in other words, kind of frozen, from taking action because it's too overwhelming. So here we are, and we want to help you get clarity, direction, and focus with what we have to share.
Absolutely, I totally agree. You know me well, and I am one of those people who gets constipated with information. I do lots of research on things, and I read information from all sorts of different sources. And then I become really overwhelmed because I can't figure out how to implement those things into my life, or a lot of times I can't even figure out what the best course of action is for me. So as you know, over the last few years, I've struggled with my health. I had an autoimmune thyroid disease diagnosis back in 2012, and I felt like I was making some progress over the last year or two, but then I kind of stalled out and hit this plateau where I just wasn't healing anymore. And so that's when I started working with you again, more in depth and focused on my issues. And I really feel like there's been a lot of clarity for me in kind of knowing the steps that I need to take in order to regain my health. So for the first time in quite a while, I actually feel really optimistic that I'm going to achieve my health goals and finally get to a point where we can start a family and I can wake up every day feeling great instead of just feeling okay. I'm ready to move from okay to great. So right. I'm really excited about this.
Me too, me too. I'm so glad we were able to reconnect and get back into a group together, and hopefully we can share this experience with our audiences. And to touch on some of the things you just shared, it's very common for people to really kind of get stuck in their heads. In fact, almost every single client I talk to is, they have this big long list of supplements they're taking, and they're like, yeah, I don't really take them very consistently. And so what I find is the real reason for that is because they're just really not sure. Mm-hmm. They're not sure what they should be taking, but they want to do something. And so there's a lot of confusion out there. There's too much information, and you get bogged down. So we have a path that's, clear and focused now, right? Through hair analysis, which has been awesome. So we want to share more of that kind of stuff with everyone else because, a lot of people are out there wanting to get healthy and want to recover their health, and it's a frustrating path to do it alone and on your own. And honestly, sometimes people are making things worse, listening to all the advice that's out there. So we want to give a starting point and help people get some clarity here. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I really feel like there's kind of a need for a little bit of hand-holding maybe, but just to kind of like push all of the information out, because every day when you're online you're seeing, take this for that or this heals that and all of this stuff, and so all of a sudden we're kind of this culture who thinks they just need to run to the health food store, buy that latest supplement, and it's going to help heal them. But they're not really looking at the biochemistry and what's happening in the body on a cellular level, which is critical. That's probably the biggest thing that I've learned from you is really understanding what's going on a cellular level in your body, because if you don't fix some of those issues, you're really never going to be able to regain your health, which is quite likely why I never really was able to get over. I feel like I kind of got almost to the top of the hill, but I could never quite push over the top. And I think there were some really fundamental things wrong with some of my protocols and things that I was missing just for, lack of education. I didn't know at the time, but I really have to say, like, I can't express enough how excited I am that for once I actually feel really hopeful, which for me is a really big thing, because I kind of felt like I was just resigned to just feeling okay for the rest of my life. And I really want to feel great and be able to accomplish amazing things, but I can't do that unless my health is in a really, really good place. So tell, what do you want to cover kind of in our podcast? What can our audience expect to hear from us? What types of things do you think that we're going to cover?
Well, I'm sure we'll talk about a lot of stuff, but as you were speaking, what came to my mind is there's a lot of fear. People are afraid, so that causes anxiety, and they spin in circles and go around and around and don't really get anywhere. There's a lot of, I can do it myself, because people are sick and tired of doctors giving them bad advice, or they can't find someone who will listen to them truly, so they just give up and they just try to do it on their own, which I don't know that's the best route either, unfortunately, today, because, you could potentially be giving yourself something you don't need, So one of the focuses we'll probably kind of hang out with will be through talking about hair analysis and, getting your biochemistry corrected, as well as a lot of mentalities that are out there that are causing people some harm and keeping them stalled in their health and everything like that. I've run into the gamut of, emotional and psychological things with clients who get stuck because of them. So we want to, kind of bust some myths and get people clear and feeling peace and, confidence with where they're headed for themselves, I think that's a really big key, because it's really hard to navigate everything that's out there.
I totally agree about that. And I think the mental health aspect is probably one of the things that I'm most excited about us covering, because I've seen that with myself, where I get stalled out, or I feel like if I can't do everything perfectly, then I'm not going to make any progress. And so I really have learned, and I'm still a work in progress, but I've learned that, just try to take on one thing at a time and maybe kind of master that thing, and then add some other stuff in as I'm able. But I really feel like the mental health aspects of healing and, working through the baggage that we all come with, and getting over these mindsets that have been instilled in us over the years about what is right and what is wrong, and how we should eat and how we should act and all that stuff, I think that really is one of the most important aspects of healing, and it's something that's not really being addressed by a whole lot of practitioners. Some practitioners are, but I know with the practitioners that I've worked with, except for you, nobody has really focused on the mental health aspect of it, about getting kind of my head in the right place to where I could allow my body to heal, because I am one of those people who can very easily self-sabotage myself. So I could just get myself worked up to where any good stuff that I could potentially be doing for my health is kind of being negated by where my mind is. So I'm excited about that. And one of the main reasons that I even wanted to start a podcast with you, I've wanted to start a podcast for a while, but I wanted to partner with you specifically because I feel like, we talk probably once a week, and our talks are always a long time, an hour or two sometimes. And every time I get off the phone with you, my mind is blown. I walk away from that conversation thinking, wow, you're really challenging some of my beliefs and kind of the way that I view health and the way that I view nutrition, and it just is starting to make so much sense to me. I'm seeing a lot of things that I have believed all these years that could potentially be wrong and could have been, detrimental to my health in the long term. So I really just have to say I'm so excited about partnering with you, because you have so much wonderful information to share with people, and we need to get it out there. This is really important info.
Yeah, definitely. And, through working with people day in and day out, I hear these mental hurdles that people are struggling with. And you know, quite frankly, I'm the kind of person who, listen, my day isn't going to go well for me if I don't hash my stuff out. I'm a big time processor, if you will, and I constantly working through my own thoughts and emotions and feelings, and I've been doing that for a long time. So it's, you know, it's been a long time learning curve for me, but I don't like to see people get stuck and feel bogged down by things that they don't need to. And there's just so many mentalities and mindsets out there that hold people back. And to me, health isn't just about what you put in your mouth, it's what you feed your mind. So, you know, your thought processes and your, whether you think positively or negatively, and a lot of people have this idea of like, but I'm doing all these good things, why am I not getting better? And, you know, and it's like, well, okay, hold on, you know, let's stop for a second and not look at this as a linear thing, or, you know, I'm doing this performance and I should get this result. And, you know, really healing is about a day in and day out process of just more than the perfect diet, or, oh, I exercised and I ate right and I, you know, drank all my water. You know, it's so much more than that. And I think a lot of people are missing that part, you know, and they're kind of like doing a behavior that they think deserves a prize or something, you know, and I'm not saying that to be rude. It's just, it's kind of where we go. We kind of go into this kind of mindset, and it's kind of not helpful because I think it's minimizing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when you are in this place of, I finally realize I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I want to do something about it, and then you start to make these changes and you think, oh, I got to have this certain amount of progress, and it's really more of a life choice that you have to get yourself into the groove of and realize, no, this is just how I live. And then you can reflect back and kind of see how far you've come along. And sometimes things are radical and you feel great all of a sudden, and sometimes it's just really slow and steady. So I say that because some people feel like they just want to give up because they think this way. You know what I mean? They think X plus Y equals Z. And it's, no, this isn't linear, folks. This is, you know, look at nature, you know what I mean? Nature's very wild, and it's not controlled in this like black and white kind of linear way or approach, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think we have kind of a mindset, a reward mindset. So probably for a lot of people, they're thinking, okay, I'm exercising really well and I'm eating really well and I'm doing all of these things, so, you know, X plus Y plus Z, and then all of a sudden I think a lot of times we expect those instantaneous rewards. So like, hey, we've had one great week of eating well and sleeping well and exercising and all that stuff, and so we kind of expect maybe on Saturday morning we wake up and like the heavens have opened up and our health is all of a sudden regained. And so it's hard. It's been hard for me to realize what a slow and long process healing can be sometimes. You can definitely make some great strides. I have had some things happen over the last couple of months that really happened really suddenly and unexpectedly, health-wise, improvements in my health that were really exciting. So I know I'm getting those little glimpses of quick healing and things that are shifting in my body, which is great because that helps keep my motivation up and keeps me focused on everything. But I also realize that I have to look at this long term, that this is going to take a while. I didn't get to the point that I was when I got the autoimmune diagnosis and all of that stuff. I didn't get to that overnight, so I can't expect to regain my health overnight either. So I think that reward mentality is maybe what trips up a lot of people, because they expect if they do these things for a certain amount of time, then they're going to be rewarded or they're going to have met their goals or whatever, and sometimes it's a lot slower than that. So I think that's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. It's really a one day at a time, you know, just take it one day at a time. And quite frankly, we should be really thankful that our bodies are keeping us alive, you know, and Because if you look at the world that we are in, man, there is so much going on that's combating our health in a negative way. So I really want to shed positive light on things and help people just be more focused in a positive way, because that negativity can really take you down and tax you. And our bodies are really amazing. Just from seeing so many hair tests and seeing how bad the mineral patterns are, I'm like, wow, how are these people functioning? Their body is really trying to save their life. You know, your body is trying to save your life every single day. Yep. So, we need to be more grateful for what our bodies are doing for us and kind of look at it in that way, and it just makes us just so much more open to every day making that choice to take better care of ourselves, I think. At least that helps me a lot.
Very well said. I completely agree. So we've kind of given our audience a little bit of an overview of what they can expect, and so I know we've been a little bit serious here and talking about all of the serious health topics and everything, but we are going to have fun on the podcast too. I mean, this is real life with me and Lydia. There's going to be bloopers. There's going to be things that happen during our show, so you can expect some laughter and some humor. We take topics. I'll just bring up the poo topic. Lydia talks about bowel movements with her clients every single day, and so we are really here to take the taboo out of some of these topics that people just don't want to talk about because they're embarrassing or they're shy or whatever. So you can expect a lot of humor on the show too. It's not going to be cut and dry, serious, purely educational, informational stuff. You can really expect some fun stuff too. So don't get too bored with just the more of the scientific and the health stuff. You can expect a lot of fun stuff too.
Yep, there's no such thing as TMI when it comes to your health, people.
Yep, I've shared things with you over the last few years that I would have never have dreamed of sharing with anybody. So.
Yeah. It's that's a whole other mindset thing. We just got to bust it all. So, well, thanks so much, everyone, for listening to us today. We just are so happy to be able to get our voices out there and share with you, and we really hope it inspires you and helps you in your own health journey. Also, we would love to hear from you. We would love for you to like our videos and comment and share them, as well as give us some questions, or even say, hey, we'd love to hear you talk about this or that or whatever it may be. So please feel free to keep in touch with us and share, and that'll help us out a lot. Thanks.
Absolutely. So we are going to wrap up, and we will be back next week with episode number 2, and we will dive right into the nitty-gritty. So have a great day, everybody.
Bye.